People around here trust the Shepherds. Jamie, Adam, and the other Jamie. They always have. The sheep trust them too. Gather round, I'll throw another log on the fire and turn it up just a touch, cause another episode of the BHHcast is starting now.
Brand new episode of the BHHcast. You know what I just realized, actually, as we got into this episode, before we go too much further?
What's that?
So there's this pickup game that I play in, basketball game that I play in here at the beach. And
he's constantly cheating on us.
Yeah, are you actually seeing another pickup basketball team? We play pickup basketball with Jamie too.
Yeah. This is a different game.
Okay.
And
could you hide your affairs better, please?
Yeah.
No, I put all my business on the street. There are no secrets.
Just publish it.
So there's a guy who's like the commissioner of the pickup league, 70 years old, right?
Right.
And he always picks the teams for the first game. So he always picks a team that he knows will win the first game because he knows then he'll at least get 2 games because winner stays on and then he'll be eliminated and that's fine. He can go home.
Right.
So I went and played for the first time since COVID. I missed last year. So it's been a year since I got to play. I got in the first group.
No, you got on his team?
No.
Oh, of course not.
I got put on the losers team.
Okay, good.
Thought,
that seems more appropriate. Yeah.
I've gotten so old. I'm now put on the loser team that the older guy is like, Bendel's a liability.
Were you wearing a Washington Generals jersey?
Everybody else has been picked, and Bendel sits there saying, "Oh, I'm still here, guys. I'm still here."
No. Game 2, there's 2 kids that just finished. Brothers that just finished playing Division I basketball, right? So it's like a semi-legit game.
Yeah.
And their dad, nice guy, but he rides them like they're 8 and 9 years
Oh my
old.
God, we're grown men, Pops. Leave it. Drop it.
They're college graduates.
Oh my
One
God.
of them's going to get their master's.
I think it's more about control than anything. That's kind of look. I love that documentary about that quarterback for the Oakland Raiders, that kid Todd.
Marinovich.
Yeah, Todd Marinovich coming out of a college. I mean, they had so many expectations on this kid, and it's like you watch the Tiger Woods documentary. These fathers, they like get in there and do it. Like Tiger Woods was a great golfer. Unfortunately, he had some glitches along the way. With decision wise. It's interesting. Like they didn't teach them to be good people. Really, you're gonna have to figure that out on your own.
Yeah, I remember the Marinovich story was his dad never had let him have a hamburger at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like everything was, even when his mother was pregnant with him, they were feeding her food that we thought would be appropriate for a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
and he gets to college.
Yeah, it wasn't even about Todd. It was about the dad.
Right.
It was about the dad and what the dad wanted.
Right.
He imposed his will on this kid, and he, pardon my French, but he effed this kid's life up.
Yeah, he gets to college and just absolutely, once he gets out from dad's absolute thumb, he just absolutely goes on a bender and never comes back. I think the next time they see him, he's basically a beach bum in California.
Yeah, that was a career ender bender. That's what he wanted. A career ender bender.
That's right.
I just made that up.
That's a good one. Those are the best benders, the career enders. Bro. Yeah, the career ender benders are always the good benders. Never good for the career, though.
You wake up the next day and you're like, what did we do last night? And you're like, dude, you threw your career away.
Oh, Johnny Football. What did you do? You drank your career. Right. It's a career ender bender.
Yeah. Yeah. But the flip side of that is like a team that always comes up a little bit short. And then like how come these guys can't get over the hurdle? And they'll be like, I think the dads loved him too much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. He had too much love in the household.
Yeah.
Right.
What are you doing passing the ball to him? His dad sends him a card for Father's Day.
I love the career ender bender, though. That's such a great one. They're like, what'd you do last night? You actually took a poop in the Stanley Cup. Like, what the fuck? Like, they're never going to let you play hockey again.
All right, so Jimmy, tell us real quick about the new special.
Oh, this special is Zero Tolerance. It's available on my website at jimmyshubert.com. People can get it on the Vimeo platform. You can rent it or you can buy it. It's a great hour of stand-up comedy. My album just went to #1 this past summer. So the album called Zero Tolerance by the same name. It's hilarious. One's a CD, one's an album, one's a special. So you can, go check them out for sure.
What's the right time for you when you say, okay, this is stuff that is a good enough chunk to make into a special, turn it into an
Well,
hour?
yeah, when it's ready, when it's a kind of a themed hour, you know. I mean, I know a lot of these guys go, you got to do an hour special every year. And I go, no, you do the hour. If it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. If it takes a year and a half, it takes a year and a half. But I do love, you know, being able to create content and get it out there. I use, when it's ready, I'll go, yeah, this is a good solid hour.
Wasn't that kind of hard though with the pandemic in terms of trying to figure out, you have less opportunity to
Test it.
you know, test the material as much?
I was writing bits with, like, I loved that everybody bought all the toilet paper. I loved it, like in a pandemic, like the last thing I would worry about is toilet paper. I could jump in the shower. I mean, it's just kind of weird the way people react. It's insane. I guess we are getting dumber. I think we should, you know, really just kind of relinquish the dominant species role. You know, when a spider can build a house out of its ass, how do we say that we're the dominant species? I mean, we're the only species that would go into the woods, cut down some trees, and take the pulp from the trees, turn it into paper, and then write "Save the trees" on the fucking paper. That's how. That sound like idiotic we are. None of it makes any sense. We're living in the upside down.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of drain Jimmy has in his shower that it eliminates the need for toilet paper.
Well, it's a good one. It's a thick one. Where was the part in Mad Max where they were talking about toilet paper, right? Like, if that was the first thing that hit people's mind when the world went to hell, they're like, why was the movies were all wrong about how the apocalypse would look, right? No one ran to get toilet paper in any of those apocalyptic movies.
No.
Yeah, it's going to look more like Naked and Afraid than anything else if it does happen.
That's right. We have to get you to the bomb shelter. And someone grabbed the Charmin.
It's amazing how time changes, because I actually did a gig within the last 6 weeks or so where the centerpieces were actually rolls of toilet paper.
Oh.
That's how cocky we got. That within a year of the pandemic, we're like, we're back to surplus. Just throw a bunch of it on the table. We got plenty.
We got toilet paper for days.
All right, when we come back, we will turn into some of the questions that we ask of our guests. We are joined this episode by comedian Jimmy Shubert. Check out his new special and album, Zero Tolerance, at your favorite platform for downloading, streaming. More importantly, when able, I say purchase. I mean, streaming revenue is fine, but purchase revenue is better. We'll be back with more of the podcast, Jamie, and Adam, when we return.
Stick around, sheep.
Yeah, so in Audio Engineering 101, I was wondering, what's the thought about ice and carbonated beverages?
You're talking about me, aren't you?
No.
You're talking about me.
No, I'm not talking about you.
You are. You're talking about me.
What makes you think that?
You always give me a dirty look when I have my ice. I mean, I'm not eating food. I'm chewing ice.
Can we get a noise canceling mechanism for Adam?
Just stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Stay thirsty.
Don't let it hurt and keep you back. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. All right, we are back. This is the BHHcast. Jamie Bendel, Jamie Hernan, Adam. Hey.
Sheep are going crazy.
Our guest this episode is comedian Jimmy Shubert. Also some television, some movie credits as well. Yeah. Between the segments, we were talking about one of the gigs. I think you referred to it as a corporate gig for some dancers who are...
It was the Exotic Dancer Award Show.
Whoa!
That they do down here in Miami, and they're from all the strip clubs across Florida. It's a big event. You wouldn't. I mean, it's like a big expo. I mean, all the stuff that goes on in strip clubs, you don't realize. Like, you know, the money cashiers, the booze, the vodka, all those vendors were there, and then they had these girls competing for Entertainer of the Year.
And so, what are the categories in that show where they're awarding?
There's 3 women nominated. And they dance and compete, and then they find out who the winner is. They also had award shows for executives in the strip club industry that were able to keep their clubs going during the pandemic, and the social media awards and different things like that. So obviously it's an industry they take very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Do they have awards for the guys making the buffets?
Yeah, best buffet.
Bathroom attendants.
So, Jimmy, you've been on the road for a long time. Do you think that the environment for a new comic, the prototypical comedian who now goes out to LA, wants to start basically making their way in the comedy field, is it the same environment as when you were in a comparable spot?
No, it's not even close. I mean, nowadays, so many cities have such great comedy scenes. I mean, comics are in rush to LA or New York. The pandemic's changed all that. There's some great comedy scenes in cities like, Atlanta and, Austin now and down here in Florida that everything's about social media now and putting up content and putting up video, and you can work on your YouTube. I mean, some of these guys like Tim Dillon make 100,000 a month on their Patreon. I mean, it's insane. Some of these guys don't even have to go do stand-up anymore. It's crazy. It's like, but they still do. But it's fascinating. It's not even the same game. I, on the other hand, would have to audition to get roles in sitcoms and movies, and you'd have to do that. And you were always putting yourself up there and just working on the thing. And now you need a YouTube channel with 100,000 followers, then you're good to go. That's all they want to know. I mean, I've had this argument with my manager. I was like, he goes, "You got to do a podcast." I go, "Yeah, because we're having a tough time getting you in for auditions." I said, "Because I don't have a podcast." I remember when I was studying acting, they said, "Make sure you have a podcast so we can bring you in. It'll make you a better actor." I mean, it's just, but yeah, like stuff like that's crazy. Like, they're like, the managers are like, "Hey, you need more followers on Twitter." Really? You think that's what I need? Boy, that's some solid management advice.
That's why
I'd like to get more followers. I'd like to do it organically. I mean, would you? We're living in the upside down. I mean, so many. Like, I don't even know what's real anymore.
I got to be honest with you. I'm having a hard time managing all of the auditions I'm getting from this podcast.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? Yeah. You'll be nominated for an award soon.
Yeah. You've seen me dance then, huh?
Hollywood is literally canceling itself.
Yeah.
Which people are, they've already got rid of the Golden Globes. The Academy Awards are next. I mean, you're not even fucking like people go, it's just people don't give a fuck. I think the pandemic has caused people not to give a fuck. I mean, you guys were talking about the NBA. The ratings are down 16% from last year. Like, people aren't fucking watching anymore because they don't. It's just, I want to watch it. It's insane. I just fucking listen to music anymore, man. Fuck all the noise. I do walks on the beach. I do yoga 3 times a week. I'm working on me. I'm working on being my best version of myself. Namyo Rinye Kyo motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? No, but it's a battle between me fucking staying sane and just fucking letting yourself get overrun by all this information. It's just information. It's just information. None of it. It's like, I don't even know what's fucking. We're like, starving for knowledge, but we're drowning in information. It's too much fucking information.
Jimmy earlier said he was going to drop an F-bomb, and he was like, pardon me, but, effing this. And then in that, what he just said, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And there were maybe 40 F-bombs in that.
That's right. That's how we do. Yeah, because you know what? That's what he's going to do. The other thing is
And we got the explicit tag. Don't worry. We're good. You can say whatever the hell you want to say.
Yeah, so shut the fuck up.
I should have told you guys. I should have told you I developed Tourette's during the pandemic.
It's good. It's the best kind. No. But Jimmy, your next audition though will be, you're an incredible actor. We love how you had the scene, but your Instagram, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous that way.
Look, here's the way I look at it. I think all that stuff. I think all that social media. I think Twitter and Facebook, and they're all like internet ghettos designed to eradicate original thought or original ideas.
Destroy society. The minute
you step out, a lot of this stuff. You don't. A lot of these rants people go on. You go, that should be reserved for the inside of a therapist's office. It's not something you should be putting out for all your friends and family to see. No, look like John spinning a gasket. He's just having a full-on mental breakdown. And meanwhile, the guy just should be talking to a therapist.
Yeah.
Look, man, it's enough. I just want to. I know people are trying to become famous. I'm trying to get away from all that shit. I want to go fucking relax a little bit and enjoy my life.
Good.
I'm going to be putting out fucking content every day. I'm trying to enjoy my life a little more. I want to play a little more golf. I want to enjoy my life before I fucking die, for God's sake.
So do you think, relative to that, does that make comedians better or worse? So is if you were to compare historically, and I know it's not one that you can do Jordans of eras or LeBrons of eras,
right?
But would you say that the comedian who didn't have to vomit content over time is a better comic because they get to kind of practice and perfect and practice and perfect. And at some point,
well, no, I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, obviously, my act, I read a new 20 minutes every 6 months. I mean, I'm always engaged in the process. Your act is a living, breathing organism. You're always working on new material. There's no, I mean, that's the job of being a comedian. I mean, and being a comedian, being a great comedian, and being like a LeBron or whatever, one of these guys like Hicks and Kinnison and Andrew Dice Clay and Doug Stanhope and Bill Burr, and these guys are always working on new stuff. I mean, that's what you do. That's the job of a comedian. And what I'm saying is, it used to be enough to be a great comedian.
Right.
Now you have to be a podcaster. Now you have to be like, putting up content all the time. And it's like, I mean, how much information do you need to fucking know about me? Hey, this week on the Jimmy Shubert Show, I'm going to swallow this camera and you guys are going to take a ride through my lower intestine. And whoever guesses the correct amount of polyps in my lower GI gets 4 free tickets to my next show at the Atlanta Punchline. I mean, like what? Where do we draw the line, Jamie? I mean, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're a lawyer and you know that when you live in America, you're supposed to have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Right.
And it seems we've been complicit in giving it all up, giving up all our information to fucking everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's no more expectation of privacy. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
you know what's also great is that we gotten this far into the podcast and no one has taken off their pants. That's amazing.
We do have a question from a listener. If they were to take a ride into your stomach, what would they find in there that you had for lunch today? Our listeners want to know.
They would find.
Don't answer that. Don't answer that, Jimmy. I'm waving you off of that. That's too much information.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to know that.
As my attorney, Jamie, you're going to advise me not to tell people
Yeah,
what I had for lunch.
Keep something for yourself.
He's got a constitutional right not to incriminate himself.
Ooh, constitutional.
I may or may not have had a tuna fish and Swiss on sourdough.
Hypothetically.
Maybe.
Hypothetically.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right, we are going to come back with our guest, Jimmy Shubert, for Meat and 3, then Lightning Round. Stay tuned. This is the podcast. Continues after this.
So I appreciate you guys not bringing up the Utah Jazz loss.
Our condolences.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's amazing to me that the Hawks have ended up lasting longer than the Jazz did after we won the entire season.
I have to tell you, I too am surprisingly sad about the Jazz's departure from the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, thank you.
In part because I thought that we had created this incredible mojo by going and watching those games in your basement.
Well, see, that's kind of on me because my family and we went on vacation to New Hampshire, and the three of us were not able to get together for these other games. And
well, Bendel and I went to your house.
Well, but interestingly enough, if we didn't have all three of us, it just didn't seem to work. So I own a lot of the loss because the two games we watched, the first two games, it seemed like the Jazz had it under control. As soon as I leave and the three of us are not watching together, it looked like a totally different team.
So now, are you now a Hawks fan?
I'm just saying I own the jinx.
Okay.
I'm just saying I own the fact that it's most of the Jazz losses on my shoulders.
Normally, I would be dismissive of the concept of a sports jinx, though I believe in them and I have numerous sports superstitions. I actually think that it's possible, much in the same way that we're gaining podcast influence, I think we're gaining sports outcome influence because Jazz are out as soon as we stopped watching the games together. And then two guests in a row have been from cities, or two guests, I guess, in succession, have been teams that the Hawks have competed against and beat.
Yeah, Sheep, if you're listening now, recognize the podcast is not only a podcast anymore, but we do have a pretty significant influence over the universe. Understand you're listening to a very special show at this point, Sheep.
All right. Jimmy Shubert is our guest here on the podcast this episode. Jamie, and Adam are joined by Jimmy Shubert. Jimmy, you have spent a number of years on the road as a comedian. Surely you are familiar with the concept of a meat and 3 restaurant.
A meat and free restaurant?
Three.
Like 3.
Meat and 3. No,
Yeah.
what is that?
All right, it's like a cafeteria style. You go in, you get to pick a meat, and you get 3 sides.
Yes, a meat and 3. Okay, like Horn and Heart. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yes,
All
I
right.
got you. Golden Corral.
Like similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in your life, what is the meat? What's the thing around which you organize everything else?
Just lately, it's been just working on my health, working on myself, my mental health, my spiritual health, and everything else. Also eating healthy, just living a healthier life. That's where it starts for me. I do walks on the beach and do yoga 3 times a day. 3 times a week. We'll start lifting. So I'm just going to try to work on my wellness.
Okay.
Okay,
so wellness. So then your sides. What are the 3 attributes that you would like people to most closely associate with you?
Comedy, magic. I love performing close-up magic. In fact, I just got past the Magic Castle pre-pandemic, and my family.
Okay.
Yeah, family, magic, and comedy. Those are great.
How closely? Because I've always been curious to ask this of somebody. How close are comedy and magic related in terms of the element of surprise?
It's interesting. That's a great question. The thing I love about magic is that there's this tremendous amount of discipline and rehearsal and practice that goes into it and working on it, because you're choreographing these illusions, and it's like a one-legged duck. There's a lot of paddling going on to keep the top moving. And so I love it, and I love the presentation of it. I think it actually enhances my comedy delivery. I always take everything from magic because I started as a magician, and so there's no bad audiences. They're only bad magicians, But it's just I think comedy's a little I love them both equally, but comedy just being able to go up and Jamie, you've done it. You go in front of a room and just rock the room. There's no feeling like that on the planet. It's great. You get to touch people and make people laugh. I've had a lot of people, especially lately, come up to me after shows and they're like, "Thank you so much. Like, I forgot how much I miss stand-up." It's almost like you're doing a mitzvah for them. I love them both for separate reasons. Magic obviously is that you get to blow people's minds, and the comedy, there's nothing like it.
Can we go one episode without someone telling Bendel that he asked a great question? My God.
No, you cannot.
Just one episode where the questions fall flat. I just want someone to say, what the hell kind of question was that?
Doing?
That's the stupidest question I've ever heard.
One of the interesting things about comedy, I think, is that at the end of the show, you really do get to go interact with your audience. Yeah. You stand at the back of the room or wherever people are leaving. You shake hands, you take pictures, you do whatever. You have people offer things that they think are funny to you. Yeah. Does a magician have to maintain the allure of distance?
No, I don't think so. I don't think people really believe you're a magician. You're an actor playing the part of a magician. That's all. That's it. It's like kind of a thing. It's funny. I used to do 45 minutes of comedy, and then I would go out to the bar when the second show would come out. I'd stand out there and I'd do like another 20 or 30 minutes of magic. Like, it was like, that's how I would do it, because I love practicing. So, you get a real live audience. It's kind of cool. And they already know you're kind of a funny guy. So it's just, but I don't think my stand-up persona is like, it's a little aggressive. I don't really think it goes with magic per se. It's like angry magic. Yes, Jimmy Shubert is new. Pick a card. Remember the card. I don't know, man. It's a kid's birthday show. Shut up. He wanted a magician. Like angry magic, I think, is a
So, okay, so hang on a second.
Can I just say one thing, Bendel? That was a great question.
Oh, right. Jesus. So
let me make a suggestion, Jimmy.
Yes.
I think you should create an Instagram or TikTok page for the angry magician.
Your agent will love it.
Where you just yell at people.
Yeah.
For that.
You don't remember the card?
You.
What do you mean you don't remember the card? We just did it 5 minutes ago. You don't remember the card?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I believe you. I've done it for Russell Peters. He was dying. He was. Oh, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
But that should be your thing. Angry street magician.
Angry.
Where's the card? Where's the card?
Where's the card? The guys trying to do magic to a gang. They want to chase them down the street with knives.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
You stupid fuck! Why won't you remember the card?
Right. And that would go, that's exactly the kind of thing where they'd be like, holy shit, you got to check out this angry street magician.
Dude, I'm gonna take your idea.
There you go.
Let this out. But it's like the guys hung over at a kid's birthday party, and the thing they do with the sponge balls.
Yeah.
And then he puts a bunch of balls and he opens his hands, a bunch of balls.
Yeah.
But there's a version of that where you do that, a giant penis pops out. It's like a giant foam penis. And he does that trick at a kid's party. And I'm like, you animal. I wore a wrong suit coat. I wore a wrong suit.
Relax.
Throwing them out. Angry magic. I think that's a funny idea.
Hey, Brian, guess what? This is your 12th birthday. This is what your future is.
Yeah, you said I was doing a bar mitzvah. Yeah, he's a man now.
He is a man. Yeah. He needs to learn this material.
That's hilarious. That would be so funny.
That would be so funny, just to be angry street magic. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Jamie. I'm going to take that idea and run with it. I love it.
All right, when we come back, we're going to do a lightning round here on the podcast. Comedian Jimmy Shubert, Jamie, and Adam. More podcasts in a moment. I have pitched you guys on the idea that we could do this concept of Everesting. There's 4 opportunities in any given year, so we can pick the mountain we want to climb, and all we have to do is go up it 29,029 feet worth of elevation change. You walk up, you gondola down, they have masseuses, there's food, there's luxury tents. We just got to stay on
This would involve
pace.
death.
I mean, for me, it would. As the only member of the Shepherds that's, above 250, I think I got to get some kind of credit on the Everesting.
Okay, but they say it's life-changing. I've read the website.
Life-changing?
There'll be a moment where we feel like we can push ourselves no further. We're going to break ourselves down to build ourselves back.
Ooh, I could use a build back.
What about going hilling? Does anybody want to go hilling?
What's hilling?
Hilling is when you climb a hill. I mean, you just said you were going to die, Adam. I just saved your life.
So I pitched you on Everesting,
Yeah.
but I also pitched you guys on 2 state distance bike rides.
Okay, the thing I don't like about the bike riding is the outfits.
We're
Do
not
I
in
have to wear a
outfits.
stupid outfit?
No, I'm in a t-shirt.
No, but those look like real bike things where I got to wear some
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
basically a
That's
maxi pad in my shorts.
We're getting BHHcast outfits. We're going to be sponsored by the BHHcast. There's no question.
Well, that's true. That should be true.
Can Adam and I get a bicycle that has a sidecar so we can just go? We can swap who's riding the bike and who's just riding the sidecar.
Okay, so you guys know we've had the conversation. I've done one of these long distance bike rides before.
Yes.
Okay, it's easy.
Can't be.
It's easy.
Oh, I don't even have to train now.
You don't have to train. I promise you that if I said over the next 5 days, 8 days, we're going to ride 400 miles.
That sounds crazy.
Okay,
Nope.
I'm totally in if we can record the podcast at each stop. Find
Every
the
night
location.
we
Yeah.
could do. Yes, we could do.
Each night.
We could do podcasts live from. Okay, so the Georgia one, bike ride across Georgia. They generally start you up at the top of the state, somewhere in the Chattanooga kind of vicinity, and they sort of take you downhill, down towards Columbus. That's kind of how the route goes. They
Oh, so
don't
you
really
just
go.
coast.
It's kind of what's that?
So I
you
coast
can just
the whole
coast.
time?
Yeah, you
Do
don't
I
even
not
have to pedal.
pump?
Kind of coasting. You're going downhill.
Okay.
Okay. The ride across Iowa.
That's the one I want to do.
Okay, 55,000 riders. They close the roads.
Ooh.
So, like, it is what this town is doing. In every town you ride into, you're like, heroes welcome.
Oh man.
Everybody's cheering. There's bands, there's parades, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on.
And if you're hungry, you just grab corn along the way.
You're grabbing corn. It's free energy.
Okay. You kind of interesting. Could we reverse summit the mountains where we go in a gondola up the mountain and then ride a bike down 23 times? That sounds to me, and I'd still
I mean,
get the
we could try
massages and stuff. I think you'd still need the massages
Yeah.
and the gourmet food and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
We need to hear from
So-
our sheep in Iowa. Do they want us to come there? Does Iowa need the podcast?
We're coming for you, sheep.
I hope the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that I'm going to try to get all 3 of these done. The Everesting one seems a little bit challenging.
Oh, On.
But I think we can do it. I think we can do it.
All right. Can I get a segue?
Segue up the mountain?
Yeah, just segue up the mountain each time.
No, I think what you're thinking of is a Sherpa.
Ooh, as long as I can ride him.
Ooh, piggyback ride.
Piggyback ride Sherpa.
He's going to charge extra.
Wasn't there a thing that we did about there's a race where you put your wife on your back and you have to run with your wife?
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen those on like the Nordic challenges or whatever.
Something like that. There's some random
where we throw stones and then you carry your wife with a wife on their back. I think
something. It's the wife on the back. Yeah.
My wife's always on my back.
All right, BHHcast is back. Our guest this episode, comedian Jimmy Shubert. Make sure you do check him out, jimmyshubert.com. We'll have all of the links to the various places you can find him on social media. Brand new album and special. It's out, Zero Tolerance. Check it out if you haven't already. Jimmy, we're going to do a segment called Lightning Round. These are deep questions with quick answers.
The sheep are going nuts. They love the lightning.
Everybody loves the lightning. We're going to do a practice question just to kind of get you up to speed with how the round should go. First practice question is clockwise or counterclockwise?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. Yes. All right. Starting with Jamie.
All right. What is Drinky Time Squirrel's drink of choice?
Vodka soda with a lemon twist.
Oh. What height would you like to be?
The height I am now, 6'2".
Nice. Perfect.
What card did you pick?
7 of clubs.
If an emotional support turkey was suffering anxiety as Thanksgiving approached, what animal would it use as an emotional support animal and why?
That's a great question. I think he would have.
Great question for someone other than Bendel. There we go.
2 for 2 with a great question. I would say the turkey would have a CNI chicken.
Very nice. What is the best junk food?
Oh, wow. Just dessert. I like desserts of any kind, your cookies, cake, ice cream. Ice cream's my thing, man.
Ice cream's great.
I only like getting the small containers because you can't get too much trouble. You just eat half. And, you get a gallon, bro. You might be going in. You know what I mean?
It's a career bender.
All right. Best tag you ever got from a comedian?
You know what's funny? I was working on the Animal Instincts. I used to do this callback with all the animals. And this comedian said, he goes, you do this thing with one animal. He goes, you got the frog. He goes, you got the squirrel. He started going up the animals, which led to like the best callback in my show off my album, Animal Instincts. I do this thing with the eagles have a flying sex to have midair and squirrel. I said, you only see deer crossing signs. What are the squirrels going to strap with a pair of antlers? And I brought them all back on the couch at like Geraldo or Sally Jesse Raphael, and I was one of the. It's like the greatest callback in the history of comedy. But someone else gave me that and started. My buddy Lou Angel Wolf said you should do that animal and then do that, and it just turned out to be like amazing. So,
all right, which animal would make the best exotic dancer in Miami?
The Burmese python.
If you could name the street you live on, what would you call it?
Schubert's Alley.
Nice.
Run the light or stick to your time?
Stick to your time. And stick to your time like it's a waitress on a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Stick to your time. Be a pro.
Got one more?
Be a fucking pro.
Bonus? Let's do a bonus round.
All right.
It's gone so well.
Which animal would make a better free throw shooter than Ben Simmons?
Oh.
A giraffe.
We would have accepted all of them, but giraffe is correct.
A giraffe would be an incredible free throw shooter. Could you imagine?
A hedgehog?
Dunking it.
Hedgehog?
Boom, dunking it.
A hedgehog?
Yeah.
A hedgehog.
Could you imagine a hedgehog shooting free throw? What's the best meal your mom makes or made?
Man, it's the combination of this just goes back to snowy days. This is like my soul food. The bowl of tomato soup with the grilled cheese sandwich. We used to go sledding on a thing called Suicide Hill. At the bottom of the hill, there was a creek, and sometimes, you would go down the hill on anything that would fly. Like we went down on hoods of cars. Sometimes you wouldn't get off in time, and you go right in the creek, and then you have to walk home, and you would freeze. You would freeze. You'd have to walk through snow, and it was a good, probably say 3/4 of a mile back to maybe even a little longer, about a mile back to my mom's house, and you would just get frozen. and you would come in and she would just make you that grilled cheese and that tomato soup, man. That was it.
That sounds good.
So that's the meal. Nothing fancy.
You know, Jimmy, I'm always struck by how many of us grew up in snowy climates where there was always a suicide hill.
Yeah.
Game.
Isn't that funny though? It's right. Because people go, which suicide hill's that? Because we got a suicide hill.
We got a suicide hill.
I posted a thing because when I went back recently, it was snowing. It was like maybe 2 years ago. It was snowing in Philadelphia. It was in March 19th, and it was coming down. And so we went up to the hill, and I posted a thing about being at the top of Suicide Hill, and people go, "Is that the Suicide Hill?" But it's so funny. Like people chimed in from all over.
Everybody's got
right.
a
Everywhere
Suicide
has a
Hill.
Suicide Hill.
It's always a rock at the end that you got to dodge. It's like everything's going good. Assuming you make it to the bottom, you just got to dodge that big rock.
There was a little double hill. They called it the Nutcracker. Literally, if you were going off that, I've seen sleds shatter into splinters under the weight of a grown man, and they called it the Nutbuster on Suicide Hill. Everybody, he's doing the Nutbuster on Suicide Hill, and everybody went around, and the whole thing would splinter.
Yeah, there is a very gentle incline on Delray Beach's Suicide Hill.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I go up north all the time anyway, but you know what they do have? They have a great beach here. I literally, I'll Google it. What time's the sun coming up? They're ready. It goes 6:47. I'm out there by 6, walking on the beach, and I come back, I make a U-turn. I come back, watch the sun come up. I come home, have a protein shake, do yoga. Maybe I hit the driving range.
That's good for the soul.
I just want to enjoy myself, man.
Right.
Where are people going to, where are they going to find you if they want to find
Well, they can
everything?
find me on the socials, on the Twitter at Jimmy Shubert. You can find me on Instagram at Jimmy Shubert. It's Shubert. It's like spelled like the theater. There's no C in Shubert. And, and I got a tour schedule coming up. I'm going to Vegas. I'll be in Vegas at the end of July. I'm doing Brad Garrett's, the MGM. I'm doing the Romo Room in Austin, Texas. And we're going to get back out there and get back to making people laugh. And so, the dates are starting to roll in. I got Chicago on New Year's Eve. I'm also doing Reno and Laugh Factory in Las Vegas back in November. So all the dates will be posted on my website. If you want to come see a show, that would be great. I'd love for people to come out and have some laughs. It'd be great. And I'll be coming to Jamie's Club soon.
Nice.
Back to Atlanta.
Back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zero Tolerance, incredible show. I encourage all the sheep to go check it out. It's amazingly funny, amazing. It's like you said, Jimmy. It's a solid hour of hit after hit. So well done on that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I can't
Thank
wait
you so
for your
much.
Christmas special, The Angry Magician. The Angry Magician. That's going to be incredible.
Good. For your Angry Magic Christmas special.
That's right.
Angry Magic. All right, Jimmy
Hello,
Shubert.
man. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you for the Angry Magic, because I swear to you, that's the best thing I've
gonna be
heard. I'm going
great.
to start working on that.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Go check him out. Jimmy Shubert.
Thanks,
Really
guys.
fun.
Thanks for having me on.
Talk to you real soon.
And nobody took off their pants.
Unbelievable.
All right, that was comedian Jimmy Shubert. Terrific interview, as always. If you thought he had energy in this interview, you really need to go see him live. It's 100 times more energetic than that, if that is to be believed. For Jamie, and Adam, this has been the BHHcast. Brand new episode before you know it.
We'll see you soon, sheep. Don't bow your heads too long. We'll be back. Don't you worry.
Taka.
Fire's getting low. This episode of the BHHcast is over. Time to go home now, sheep. Go on, back to where you came from. We'll call you back when it's time for another BHHcast. Taka.